SlimeVR! Good full body tracking without the need for lighthouses. Unfortunately, if you know anything about slime, it's probably that they're on a pretty big back order. It has been getting smaller, but it's still multiple months. You could always try building your own, but if you're stupid like me, that sure as hell ain't happening. That leaves you with one option: buying third-party trackers. Picking up a set of those is pretty much gambling when the most well-known ones are basically just scams. What do you mean those are made by the same I guess that checks out. Anyways, if you're buying a tracker from Slime's marketplace, you'll probably be safe. There's lots of amazing sellers on there, and it can be really hard to choose a tracker. I think there's one that really stands out above the rest though. SlimeVR's Eros trackers. I have a lot that I could say about Eros. The first being that I received my set for free. That being said, I have no issues telling someone when they send me a piece of shit. I mean, I have sold stuff on TikTok Shop. You're probably wondering how they compare to regular slimes. I'd say they're about the same. The tracking quality is basically identical. The only difference I've noticed between the two is that Eros tends to have lower latency, but that was never really an issue for me on slimes in the first place. The build quality is also on par. The cases are molded out of plastic and not 3D printed, so they have a pretty similar build to regular slimes. What isn't on par is the price. They're really expensive compared to other options. At least other SlimeVR options. In my opinion, they make up for this price difference with features that other trackers just don't have. It actually fixes my two biggest issues with regular slimes: the shitty extensions and the charging straight from hell. It doesn't take a genius to see why extensions would be annoying. You now have cables running along your body that can and will get snagged on everything. Cables that break pretty easily, might I add. In my experience, I've found that trackers with extensions attached also just have worse battery life, which isn't ideal. Eros solves this by just not having extensions. You can buy a set of 5, or you can buy a set of 10. No 5 plus 1, 5 plus 3, 7, any of that nonsense. You can also just buy a singular tracker if you need one for whatever reason. That alone kinda makes up for the price difference. Extensions are literally just an additional IMU, so they're cheaper than a whole tracker. The trade-off is they suck. You wanna know what else sucks? This. Do you know how you charge slimes? With 7 separate USB cables. Do you wanna know what they send you in the box? This. Look, I know size isn't everything, but this is just sad. Whatever, right? USB-C, the universal connector. I certainly have more than 7 lying around. Granted, they all already have their own purpose, and I don't really see how Eros could make this any better when they also charge with USB-C. For starters, thank you for not sending e-waste in the box. This is an actually useful cable, and bonus points for including a brick with it. That isn't even what makes the charging easier, though. Yeah, they stack with magnets. Once the bottom tracker's charged, it passes charge up to the one on top of it. You can do this with all of your trackers. That would be pretty slow though, so it's usually best to separate them into multiple stacks. That's still better than this rat's nest though. The magnets also are used to attach the trackers to the straps. In my opinion, these straps are just better than slimes. They clip on and off like this, so once you find the fit once, you never have to again. They also have this grippy thing on them, which makes them slip less, and in general are just more comfortable. This is a VR product though, so where's all my complaining? For once, I actually don't have anything to complain about. I did get a broken tracker in my box, but I have no doubt that if I just asked, they would replace it. I say this because they've already replaced hundreds of trackers with no one asking. These are actually V2s. The V1s had some issues. They would get really bad latency spikes, and the charging also sometimes didn't work as expected. These aren't end-of-the-world problems. You could work around them. And most companies with a product this high in demand would just say, "You're SOL. Buy the new ones if you really want the upgrade." But Somatic upgraded everyone's trackers to V2s completely free of charge, which is just awesome. I could also just fix my broken tracker myself if I wanted to. Eros is just as open as regular slimes. They even sell their boards if you want to do a little bit of DIY work. I know I might be making it out like I dislike regular slimes, but I really do love them. Like I said before, Eros' tracking is practically identical to regular slimes, so pretty damn good. If you want to learn more about SlimeVR itself, check out my video on their trackers. Also, much like Slime, I'm not being paid to say good things about Eros. I just genuinely enjoy them this much. I think both Slimes and Eros are good purchases if you're in the market for an IMU tracker. SlimeVR is better if you want more bang for your buck, while Eros fills the role of a premium IMU tracker by fixing some of Slime's bigger annoyances. Dare I say, they might just be the best IMU tracker in the space. I mean, just look at them.